Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. So, so we are going to talk about 1.5. Basically, I think everyone is familiar with this OpenAI and also how to actually add your passkey. So I have several passkey over here, and then prettify string. Prettify string is basically just having something to make sure that they actually run into this line on the left of this line, and answer with large language model is the standard way of basically getting the answer from it. Oh, one thing, Letitia, do you mind if you can see them? Can you add them as contributor?
Yeah, let me see.
They are just viewer. They probably can't ask questions.
Yeah, there you go. I've added as, yeah, Hannah's contribution.
Thank you. So let me know if you guys got any questions. If I think this is something we see a lot, then I'll just go through them quickly, but do stop me. This is something I see basically in section 2. It's always in the first chat box. So this is a standard way of getting the answer from the large language model. So the content is coming to the server and API provider. There are majorly there are two types of large language model. One is like closed off APIs, which is like OpenAI or Gemma. Oh, sorry, Gemini. Gemini is closed off. I think Gemma is as well. They are considered as half open source. They claim themselves as half open source. The other half would be something like a Gwen. I think Gwen is, yeah, Gwen. Oh, sorry, maybe not Gwen. Llama, and also the DeepSeek. They are considered as open source large language model. The difference is the model structure are known to us or not, or the weight is known to us or not. So that considered into two parts. So what we can do with open source and closed source would be, if you have a GPU, if you have enough capacity, you have your own computing unit, and then you can basically set up the whole large language model system, run the inference of this model in your own machine. Someone can run large language model in their own laptop even. So if you're working with Llama 7B, I know a lot of people actually run Llama 7B on their own laptop. Personally, I run a model called Whisper on my laptop because they are small. I can run it with my laptop, and if you have a small GPU, it can run with a small GPU, something like that. But you can't do that with the closed source because you don't even have that model. In that case, you can't even run it on the laptop. You have to run through API. So another thing is like, what if the model is, yes, Letitia?
It was just a question in terms of like running the large language model on your computer itself and on the API level. So when we're talking about it, because your API, you don't see under the hood or anything, when you run it locally, as you said, you've got it on your computer. How does that look like? Is it you that's feeding information to it?
It actually works almost the same.
Okay.
Apart from, if you look at the API part, so the API part, we have a client. You use a client like this is a hood. The API, you use it as a hood. You have a base URL, which Nebius use the same. It's like a package. You use the same structure, and you give it API key, and you send your question, and it gives you the question. You can extract it from completion, choice, message, content. It contains all the information, feed it back to you. But what happens if you're setting it up on your own laptop, you only have the model, which means you would need to do the tokenizer it, which is, I think, in section 1.2, turn it into tokenize, turn it into token, feed that into the model, get the inference, get the result back. And what you are getting is probably a bit different. It's not going to be a very structured answer, says that, okay, this is a system, this is user, this is like the maximum token, something like that. You need to set it yourself. What happened with this is OpenAI structure set everything for you already. So you can just deal with it using the API. But what's the difference between the Nebius API and also OpenAI API is that OpenAI is running, OpenAI API, yes, it's, when I talk about OpenAI API, it's very different from OpenAI package. OpenAI package considered as a code structure. OpenAI API is the actual GPU inference giving you the answer. This here is a structure saying that, okay, I'm packaging it into a token and find the whatever GPU you are saying over here, which is a base URL here, and go through the API key. This is a structure and feed you answer. So what happens? What happened is so once you use OpenAI API, it goes through their OpenAI GPU. Probably it used a model which is OpenAI model. I choose the O1, O2, O3, depends on how rich you are. And then you get an answer going through them. Another option would be going through Nebius. Nebius is one of the large language model providers. What they do is that they set the models up for you already. Imagine if you have Llama 7B, you set it up on your own laptop. You say, okay, I need to go through this tokenizer, I need to go through and I structure my input this way, and I get my output. I structure my output in a formatted way. And I have so many arguments saying that I want a JSON format, I want I don't know, structured format, like I want the temperature, I want to choose a few parameters, I need to set it up myself. But Nebius does it for you. That's why this is Nebius API. It is using an open source model or not open source model. It's up to them. And then you send, what makes it easy for us is that you just send your question to them. They calculate it, they do all the processing, pre-processing, feed that into a model, get the answer, do the post-processing, and send the answer back to you. So that is the difference. Because they did all that service for you, and also everything is running on their GPU. That's why they charge for that. On top of the API cost as well, on top of the model cost. So there are two sets of cost. One is the model cost. One is the API provider cost, which is the model cost because people spend money to train them, or if it's open source, it's free. But if it's closed source, like they want to charge for that. The API provider cost is that I'm using my GPU to give you inference because you asked me a question. I need to run my GPU to work on that. That's why we charge for that. That's how API provider charge. When it comes to, so why do we use API provider instead of set it up on your own laptop if it's open source model? First of all, it's a bit complicated to set everything up. If you're good at it, that's good as well. Hugging Face does a simple way. So they have a ready package if you want to use some of their models or using their structure. Another thing would be, depends on how big your GPU is. What happens with GPU is you have a whole GPU. You're sending a sentence to ask to get an answer. Your whole GPU, probably let's say your whole GPU has like, let's say 128 space. You're sending a sentence which takes up 2 space. So the whole GPU only use that 2 space. And they give you answer. It's very slow. It processes only one thing, and it's a waste of energy. But what API provider like Nebius do is that at the same time, they probably get like 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 questions at the same time. And they would utilize their GPU to fully process everything and at the same time and send it back. So it's more economical to use the API. So that's the difference between between these two. Oh yeah, it's not closed source. I think I just call it, because it's the one of them I call it open source, and the other one is called proprietary large language model. Proprietary large language model. So that's a difference. The famous one are like ChatGPT, OpenAI, Claude by Anthropic. Personally, I find Claude is the best for code editing, and Gemini by Google. They are Gemini is the top tier one. Personally, I'm not too happy with the result but I don't have a benchmark. Just personally, I actually prefer the top two, the ChatGPT and Claude. Yeah, so reliability, that's why API based, you use it as it is. And so yeah, so basically you can't actually change it. If it's self-served, you can optimize your inference if you know how to do that. And you can make your query cost much lower than API-based scenario. So the cost is in general, but like if you're just running it on your GPU, you're just your cost is just electricity. So it's going to be that's why it's going to be much cheaper. And unless you're good at the ops, otherwise it's a little bit tricky to actually code everything. So capability, I think I have already covered most of it. Some API provide fine-tuning. There is customization potential for both of them. If self-served, it's more complicated to actually fine-tune it, because you will need to go into the structure of a model. Regarding the API-based, all you need to do is like, I want to fine-tune, click fine-tune, and give it the data. It just runs it yourself. Runs it itself. I think Nebius probably does it. OpenAI definitely do it. I have tried with OpenAI one. You don't need to worry about anything. But with the fine-tune of the open source one, what you do is like, think about neural networks. Think about all the layered structure with all the nodes, which does the calculation. What gets done is like, you need to know which layer you want to fine tune. You pick out several layers and then fine tune it. Most of the time it's the last layer or the layer before last layer. You fine tune that section, but you need to know what the structure looks like, and you need to know exactly what you're dealing with. Data security. So data security is more like API based. You need to deal with PII, which is personal information. You need to master them first, like making into a code instead of just showing someone's name or emails. And if it's self-serve, you don't need to worry about it because it's on your GPU. You're not going to worry about, okay, whether these companies are going to take your data. Price-wise, API is always expensive. They are paid based on the number of tokens. If you don't have many requests, it may be easier to, it's easier, but a large amount is going to be quite expensive. There is a serious competition on the API market. Right now, we're using cloud, OpenAI, ChatGPT. Like, I think the first few requests are cheap, are free, and then it's quite cheap. And if you're paying £20, like you get certain number, I think 500 requests every month, something like that. It's going to be higher once the competition. I hope the competition lasts forever, so I can get these free service all the time. Otherwise, it's going to be quite complicated. It's going to be quite expensive. Yeah. Apart from that, okay, model families. Do you have any questions regarding the previous section? I think I'm going through things very slowly. I'll try to do it a little bit quick. We have, okay, Llama 3.1. I think Llama 3.2 is out. Just a few months ago, I was using Llama 3.2. Gwen 2.5, I actually haven't tried Gwen yet. I was mainly, Llama 3.3 is out. I remember the time when Llama 3.2 was out, I was in a hackathon, and it was sponsored by Meta. They want to promote Llama 3.2. I wasn't too happy with the results. I was like, it was a lot of prompt engineering with the Llama 3.3 at that time. And then in the end, I was just so angry with it. I started to change to OpenAI, paid a lot of money, and it works so much smooth. So that's the problem with Llama. It's like, it's not the top tier, but it's free. Sorry, not free. It's open source. So it's much cheaper. Yes, Llama 3.1 is that. Interesting. Let me see if I can show this. If I can show the price of the Nebius token. Nebius Academy. Oh, Nebius actually. Let me show you guys. Compare. Oh no, not compare. Studio. Playworld. Oh, history. Okay, I can't find it right now. They actually have a price list. Nebius actually have a price list of all the model cards. From models over here. Okay, I will share this window. Yeah. So Llama was quite cheap, I'll say. So currently this one is 3.3, which is quite big. 49B is quite big already. 70B is quite big already. Let's see, what was the cheap one? That's 4.5. It's quite expensive. Meta Llama 8B, yes. So it's roughly about 2 cents per 1 million token. Because it's only 8B, it's much cheaper to run on GPU. But if you're looking at something like DeepSeek R1, which is a reasoning model, which is 80. I think ChatGPT, they don't charge ChatGPT because they probably routed to the OpenAI API, so OpenAI charge for that. Yeah, so basically the more expensive, they works better. Another thing which would relate to the others, because it's a quality you're looking at over here. They are measuring the quality by this one is only one benchmark. Quality score based on the MMLU benchmark, which is massive multitask language understanding benchmark. What it does is it gives you a set of questions, set of answers. It will feed the questions or the prompt into the model and generate the answer and comparing the answer with the standard answer to see how good they are. So this is a very standard way of to evaluate how good this model is. You can check the benchmark to see what the examples are. Let's see. Okay, these two are very different. Like 4 times. So the DeepSeek R1 is 4 times the price of Gwen 3. Gwen 3, I think it's I remember it's a reasoning model as well. I think the reason for that, first of all, it's probably going to be, well, first of all, maybe R1 probably has higher a number of parameters, which is going to cost a little bit more. I think so. I can't quite remember. One of the good reason is that the context number. So this is a maximum token allowed. 164K is pretty good, and 41K is slightly slow, especially the later in the current large language model field. We are not considering about reducing the number of prompts anymore. If you look at the current AI products, large language model products, the number of prompts for one request is enormous. In this case, the number of maximum token allowed is definitely important. Maybe that's one of the reasons why this is a little bit cheaper. Okay, I think that's it. And I'll go back to, I think this is 1 no. Yes. Oh, yes. So 2 cents and 13 cents. So that's a different price. In this sense, large language model size may be decreased by quantization. What is quantization? Yeah, I'll probably talk a little bit about quantization. So quantization is quite straightforward. So we are changing all the float into integers. And the standard float number, standard float number in models are generally 32 bits, and we're changing into 8-bit integer. We lose the accuracy, but we gaining like 25% of the model size, and much faster to run. So that is the case. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is about the quantization. So very small model, roughly 3 billion. So Gemini Nano. There are a few ways of emerging trend brain to edge device. So small models are specially designed, especially the large language model, are specially designed for edge device. So something like mobile. Because as we continue growing in the large language model field, security, AI security, one of the main thing we consider is that not only for edge device, it's also for big companies. Like as far as I know, I think McKinsey and JP Morgan, such companies, they value their security a lot. They can't use large language model. They use a special large language model, either customized by specific company, designed specifically for them. They are totally off hook. They're totally off the internet, and they just do. They basically just run it in a local server, or they just don't use large language model at all. So smaller parameters are actually designed for such way. And if it's a very small model, it's like that. And small model, these model are they work nicely on 800. It's reasonable to assume that 7B requires precision. Yeah, that's kind of it's cheaper. Also, they were like faster to run, and also maybe you can just run it in your laptop as well. Larger model, which is 72B, 100HB, 405B. Recently, I think the DeepSeek R1 has about 600B or over 700B, which is crazily big now. Yeah, that's one of the things. Yeah, the next thing is mixture of experts. I'm not too familiar with mixture of experts, but I can explain a little bit. I also want to know a little bit details about mixture of expert model. This is a standard model which has been reviewed in the early this year by someone from OpenAI, and because of the work of DeepSeek, like in January this year, DeepSeek has raised a huge trend about their low cost and fully open source and comparable performance as OpenAI. Large of the reason could be the distillation, which is basically they use OpenAI to generate the answers and use that answer to train their model. But what they did pretty good was also approved by OpenAI employee, is that they are using mixture of experts model, which is agreed in the field that that is also what ChatGPT, or maybe not ChatGPT, just OpenAI models, OpenAI 01, something like that. ChatGPT, OpenAI 01, 02, 03, what these models are using are called mixture of experts. what's the difference between the mixture of experts and general model, general large language model, is that it's especially this bit. Let me see if I can enlarge it so it's easier for you guys to see. Yeah. Okay. So all the others are the same. This is the difference. So normally you go through a route, you go through the normalizer, and then you go through a feed-forward network, and then you go to normalizer again, or position. Yeah. So basically, that's the general method for large language model or NLP. Mixture of expert is like you have a router. During the training, you have the router. You have like 4 or more feed-forward network. You choose which one it is. I say, okay, for this data, I'm training on this network. And for the next data, I'm training on this one. For the next data, we train on this one. So it feels like you have way more parameters. Let's say 4 times more parameters. Let's say if you have like 400B parameters over here, just for the feed-forward neural network. But when you're doing the inference, you have the router to decide, okay, for this question, you are just going for this specific network. It uses much less, like only 100B. Well, I'm saying 100B, but it's actually a little bit small tweaks. But like imagine you're just using 100 billion parameters in this engine to generate the result. It's much faster. So even though it's 400 billion parameters, you are actually using 100 billion, which is going to make the whole thing like dramatically reduce the cost dramatically, reduce the computing dramatically, and it's specified for these type of data. That's the whole thing about mixture of experts. That's basically all I know about it. I would love to know details. I think they're going to mention in the next few courses. So this is the mixture of experts. So each one of them is considered as an expert, specialized network. So that's why it's called mixture of experts. And then capability tests and reasoning models. So the reasoning models, it will be mentioned in, I think, chapter 2.2 about it. So what is a reasoning? It's more like, let me consider the time. I think I'll jump over the reasoning. You are getting to it. You will know a little bit more later. But there is a traditional, even though it's just like probably last year model, the old AI model, large language model, and then the new reasoning model. So non-reasoning and reasoning model, that's also the separation at some point. So reasoning model, consider it as it talks a lot, it thinks a lot, and then give you the answer. So it's much slower, but it might give you a better answer. We will talk more about it in topic 2. And then comparison, factuality, the most straightforward difference, more certain that, oh yes, so maybe this is just talking about the larger number of parameters are more certain about what they do is just better. It's just better because they're larger, basically. So yes, so something like if you are asking certain questions or you know a certain set of questions, which one would you choose? Like this start rule and end rule is actually talking about how accurate they are. It's actually trying to extract the number, which is supposed to be the rule starting year and end year of this person, which is in a sci-fi, Lord of Rings. And it's evaluate, okay, whether the start route is correct, whether the end route is correct. It gives a few examples, and then the biggest model answer is 100% correct, which means it's better. So this is also how the MMLU, the multitask linguistic something benchmark, MMLU. I keep forgetting, like there's so many names now. Yeah, MMLU benchmark is doing, that's what they are doing. So they have a few examples with questions like these. They have standard answers and they evaluate the answers based on that. So right now, if I'm saying, okay, maybe if you're just doing like half or like just calculate the mean. So maybe the quality is 0.225, this quality is 0.8, this quality is 1. So that's how you calculate the quality in a simple way. I think MMLU probably has a very different way of evaluating it. Sometimes they also have a real person to evaluate the answer as well. Yeah, and then, giving a certain persona. Something, I think it was something like, give it a character, give it a little bit personalized prompt, saying like, if you answer this, I'll tip you £100. If you don't give me the correct answer, I'll be fired. And you will save my life if you can answer this question, which is like really bizarre in a prompt engineering. But that's part of the prompt engineering, just to give the like from how I describe it, I'll say back the large language model to do something. Yeah. So let's answer with large language model. Oh yes, try to trick them to do something. I won't be intimidated by your threats, but if it won't be, say fine, I'll just give it a try. But if if you give it more expensive, it's like I'm not going to fall for that. So it's something related to jailbreak. I think it's something like jailbreak of large language model. Oh yes, typical large model are less prone to jailbreaking. I'm trying to jailbreak. I still couldn't do it. My prompt is like how to build a nuclear bomb. I'm trying many ways, but I think it's a very typical question which they won't answer. I remember Nebius used to give a course and talk about how they actually jailbreak it. They actually embed the whole thing into a very complex math equation and ask you to do it, and it eventually did it. But I couldn't find the template, and I was thinking to create a math equation out of nowhere and embedded the how to create a nuclear bomb into it is more complicated. I was like, okay, maybe I won't try it. But maybe they also fix that bug as well. Like I think it will get harder and harder in the future with the jailbreaking. But on Reddit, there is a large language model jailbreaking group. You can learn something from it if you want to do jailbreak. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't encourage that. But yeah, it's just fun to do. Like, who doesn't want to know how to build a nuclear bomb? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, decision point matrix, chatbot arena, and benchmark. So benchmark is something I have mentioned earlier as well. MMLU is one of them. What benchmark is, or what chatbot arena is, basically just a pool says that, okay, everyone has compared all your models, which works better. I had a discussion with someone from Nebius actually recently, because when I went into, this is one of them. This one is one of chatbot arena is one of them. So it's kind of like if you want to compare, which model works the best, but the best in what? That depends on the benchmark. As I mentioned, I prefer Cloud for editing my code, write my code, because it works the best. That is the benchmark with SWE. So there is which is software engineer benchmark. On this benchmark, Cloud works the best. I think 3.7. They also have 4.0 recently came out about 2 weeks ago, which works really good. I can't really tell the difference between 3.7 and 4.0, Cloud 3.7 and 4.0. But they are promoting 4.0 right now, so it's much cheaper. It's half price now. So when you can use it, when it's on discount, use it. Like, after a while, after a few weeks, it's going to go to full price. It's going to be extremely expensive now. Yeah, so something I find totally ridiculous was this. Actually, which benchmark was it? Chatbot arena large language model. So evaluation best match and chatbots, and what is against? I think it's just a human preference. So this is just pure human preference. It doesn't have a benchmark developed by research. Okay, it doesn't have a benchmark. Benchmark means you have a specific data set. It's quantified specifically to go with it. This is just what you like. Gemini 2.5 is everyone's favorite and beat O3. I actually haven't tried Gemini 2.5 Pro yet. O3, I assume that should be a really good one. Maybe I should try the Gemini 2.5. So this is something like just based on your preference, I think. Then we come to the different specific, let's say, coding. If I'm saying coding, no, they must did something with it. Cloud wasn't even here. This is not exactly a good arena leaderboard. Well, totally not good. I would say, come on, Gemini is not good at coding at all. I can't believe it actually went to the top of the list. Okay, and Cloud wasn't even there. This is bizarre. Let me go back. I think they also introduced several more. This one is LM3. No. This is LM Arena, large language model arena. And this one, yeah, this one is another thing which we were talking. Oh, it's the same thing. Oh, okay. What happened was it was a different interface, like about 2 weeks ago. It was a different interface, I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So, if I'm doing this, yeah. Okay, so text is Gemini. Okay, I'm not familiar with Gemini with the text. Cloud 4 is on top of the web dApp. I would totally believe that. If it's vision, Gemini, are they really that good? I give it a try. I think they charge for it, but if you go through Google, maybe they give some free prompt. I will try it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely try it.
I've tried. I think I use Gemini 2.5 for like function calling within applications that I'm using it for now, and it is quite good. It is quite good when it comes to, yeah, it's specifically if you want to integrate it with your code and see it call out your code and specific functions. It's got quite a lot of documentations around it and guidance and stuff.
That's really good. I'll definitely try it. Do they charge for that?
No, it's absolutely for free. So that's the even better thing. So they have two versions. So they have one which is Vertex AI, and then they have Google Gen AI, and the Google Gen AI function, which I use within Python, is absolutely for free.
That's amazing. I'll definitely try it then.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, I'll definitely give it a go. Yeah. So, yeah, I would love to try it because so far I created several accounts to use different. I use Cloud, and after about five prompts, it says okay, you need to pay, and then I moved to ChatGPT, and then I moved to Perplexity. So PPL is Perplexity. I strongly recommend that. It gives you like a few prompts for free as well. Perplexity is a little bit like Nebulous, but it's specialized for search engine style. ask questions, a little bit like the interface, a little bit like ChatGPT and Cloud. And it will automatically search within, not automatically, you can, basically it will just go through different models and also search the internet. So give it a try, like it works very well. I think the Perplexity Sona is actually, I don't know why they put the model here. I think Sona belongs to Cloud. No, Sonnet. So, oh, Perplexity has its own model. So Sona, okay. Okay, Sona is a Perplexity model. It works pretty well, actually. I love it. Give it a go. I'll try the Gemini as well. So that's what I'm saying about the competition is extreme. Also, DeepSeek. I think DeepSeek is probably totally free or something. So I would strongly recommend check some of the leaderboard. This leaderboard is pretty good. They just changed the interface. It wasn't this interface about 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't a reliable model. Copilot, DeepSeek 2.5, Cloud 3.5. I think 4.0 wasn't here, probably because it just came out. Text to image is quite reasonable with Imagine on the top, which is very reasonable. Overview, you can see, oh, Gemini, oh my gosh, okay. I'm behind this whole thing. I will give Gemini 2.5 another go, because I remember a few months ago, I was in one of these hackathon, and which is sponsored by Google. They try to promote. They were actually promoting Gemini at that time. I wasn't too happy with the results, so that's why I haven't tried the Google models since then. But it looks pretty good now. I'll give it a try. So if you're interested, like when the competition is still like heated, use this model as much as you can, because once the competition settles down, once several models got pushed out of the market, that's when the price goes up. It's a little bit like Uber, when Uber first came to UK, it's like so cheap, I can get it anywhere within £5, and now it's like I can't find it anywhere like within £10. It has to be 15, 20, something like that. So yeah, use it when it's still cheap. Okay. We have 10 minutes left. I'll see if I can go through as much things as I can. Yeah, this is MT bench. Was in math. Multi-term questions. Oh, I'm not familiar with this, but there are so many benchmarks. As I said, benchmarks are different. So if you're looking at this is basically the this is not even benchmark. This is just leaderboard to say, okay, which is your favorite? And maybe they're calculating the score based on something. Depends. Hugging Face has a leaderboard as well. This is one of the leaderboards, but there are many other leaderboard. If I'm going to Hugging Face, what? If I'm just searching leaderboard. Yeah, you can see there's so many leaderboard basically. Everyone has their own leaderboard, and it's evaluated in different ways. So for example, as we just mentioned, MMLU, this is a score calculated by MMLU. So there are many different ways of evaluating them, and based on what you want to do, you can find like the top few models and decide on that. Yeah, let's go back. GPQA is one of the hard benchmark. I think no one scored more than, oh, okay. Oh, they scored more than 70 now. Yeah, so this is one of the hard benchmark. That's mainly, I think GPQA is talking about PhD level question answer, something like that, like academic answer. MMLU is a general one for multitask. Basically, it's more like a generalized model. The whole family, you have the Llama, Gemma. Gemma is the Gemma and Gemini are different. They are both designed by Google, but Gemini is totally behind the curtain. Gemma is something you can tweak. it's not fully open source. You can't see their weights. I think you can. I can't quite remember. It's kind of half open source. You can see their structure, but you can't see their weights. Or you can see their weight, but you can't see. No. If you have the weight, you can see their structure. Basically, you can tweak a little bit. You can run it on your own laptop, but you would not know the structure. I think that's how it works. Mistral is another one developed in France, I think. Yeah, and different leaderboard, wide bench, safety leaderboard. So there's so many leaderboard you can check out. I'll just go through these quickly. Important note about answer extraction. How to extract the answer is also annoying things. So it's like you want them to say, okay, I give you a question, I give you an answer, and just give me A, B, C, D. Then large language model will generate a lot. Oh, when I think about this answer, so how are you today? And oh, I think the answer could be this, blah, 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 and just talks a lot of different things, which doesn't give you A, B, C, D, so which is quite annoying. It depends on how you deal with it. Certain model can deal with that. And another way is actually to extract the answer, which is over here. So saying that you have to answer after this and give a specific, like in your prompt, you need to make it very specific, generate your answer over here. A very a strategic way would be you end your question with answer. So they might show it here. No, they're not showing it here. Let me see whether they showed it. Sorry, they're not showing it here. They're not showing it here. Oh, prompt formats. So self prompt. Let's see what it is. Self prompt is here. Okay. Okay, they haven't say okay, giving the answer. So sometimes what they do is that they in the prompt say you need to generate it after answer, and then someone put it behind that, giving it the hashtag answer comma, and then it helps with asking to just generate A, B, C, D. So this different way of not different way, it's a part of the prompt engineering, and then you can extract the answer based on this value. What kind of answer you got, and then say, okay, strip everything after this. This is the exact answer, but it doesn't work with every model. In topic 2, you'll find a much easier way, which is using JSON output. And then evaluate the answer, blah, 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 evaluate the answer. Stop me if you have more questions, actually. I'm trying to go through it quickly. We have a little bit left. Coding. Cloud, use Cloud, please. I would strongly recommend Cloud. I'll try Gemini 2.5 as well. Oh yeah, it says Cloud 3.7 is even more capable. It's like, this is how fast the whole field is. This whole thing was generated probably 3 weeks ago. Now it's outdated. We're on 4.0 now. Yeah, and also some IDE, including Cursor. I love Cursor. Which helped me to code. Yeah. And then reasoning. It will talk a little bit more about the reasoning. So basically, reasoning is kind of all the large language model is thinking about what is going on, and then start to give it a little bit answer. And so it's like it says, okay, this is a prompt. This is a prompt to say, okay, this is a country, and which country? So let's say in Amber Cape border has these places. Sorry, they're probably not country, probably just areas. And then calculate the route. Tell me which is the fastest route to go from here to there. If you don't do that, it's normally just I think is that called A star algorithm. to do that. That's a mathematical way, but large language model can just do it by thinking. Okay, first I need to do this, blah, blah, I'll do this, and then I'll do this. Alternatively, maybe through silver medal, this is something called large language model workflow. It will be mentioned in a later stage, I think over here. This one. It will be mentioned later stage, nonlinear reasoning. So first, then, alternatively, I could go here. So this is nonlinear reasoning. You will find it in 2.3 as well. Okay, blah, blah. Then you decide the result. Okay, step 1, step 2. So in the end, it decides. I'll go to the 2.3 again. 2.3. So in the end, it knows, okay, this should be my output. So what I'll do is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. This is how it came to the result. Chain of thought. But this is not just one question, one answer. There's lots of things happening behind the curtain, which is they are dealing with, okay, loads of large language model requests just laid out in a map. So yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Let me go down. Yeah, and multilinguality. Different language. It can sort out different language because I think the database has many different languages. Llama intended for English. 3.1 can support this language. Gwen support 190 language. Gemma support 140 language. Llama 4 support 200 language. So yeah, they're getting better and better basically. You can see this is Llama 3.1 70B. Like on average is 0.8 in school. This is Gwen 72B, which is 100%. I'm not surprised. Gwen is developed by a Chinese company. Llama is developed by an American company. So yeah, and different things. So yeah, I probably didn't work on the task, but we just went through 1.5. All right, I'm going to. I hope you guys actually learned something from it. Yeah, so that is everything. One note, we're thinking about actually having hybrids. Oh, yes, can I quickly do a poll? Because we are thinking about having a hybrid, let me launch it, a hybrid study group. Can you guys see the poll? No worries, Emma. So in this way, we have a dedicated hour or hours to start coding together and asking questions. And it doesn't matter which topic we are on, because the feedback I get from most people, the majority is that we are still on topic 1, even though we are going to enter topic 3 tomorrow. Oh, sorry, end of topic 2 and starting of topic 3 tomorrow. But I know within our community, the majority are actually on topic 1. So in this case, we don't need to worry about this nebulous schedule. We just go with our flow with our majority of our community member. We're thinking about having a hybrid study group, and we're just going to code together, ask questions together, maybe go through some of the sections together. So please vote for your preferred time. Now it's a tie between weekend morning and weekday evenings. The in-person event is going to be happening in Shoreditch, in London. So, okay. We only have 2 votes. Please, I would encourage you guys to vote. If it's If it's two, it's just a tie. All right, I'll also ask in the Slack channel then, because if it's a tie, I can't decide. I'll also ask in this Slack channel. Yeah, and that's everything. Looking forward to see you guys in the next session. Let me see. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.